It's been an extremely busy couple weeks, but very productive. Very good to be back on campus. It was fun to be out there today. Our players had a lot of energy. Very excited to get back on the practice field. Felt good just to get back out there, to be honest with you, and get off the road. We have a very busy weekend with some recruits on campus, but things have been going very well, and just staying busy.
Like with the recruiting transfer portal guys, how accelerated is the process? Because I assume a lot of those guys just put their name in the portal, want to visit, and maybe enroll in the spring semester. How quickly does this all move?
Yeah, it moves very, very quick. Each situation is different. Yeah, Will was about to talk to you guys, and he had time as he finished school last year. There's some that'll happen right now at midterm, and there's some that'll happen probably throughout the summer and post-spring practice.
When you look at your scholarship situation as it stands right now, and trying to weigh, guys who might come back, and I mean, how are you? I know you talked about how it's hard to get roster management is tough. Is it tougher right now than it has been in the past?
It's very tough. It's always difficult, and I'm going through that daily. I need to get my feet on the ground, to be honest with you, and tomorrow morning have some meetings with our staff and see exactly where we're at. Having conversations with some of our current players and seeing where they're at. With the option of coming back with the COVID year, with maybe some of our players wanting to enter the portal, with guys coming in, there's a lot to it. It's very fluid and a lot of moving pieces, and so we manage it each day.
I know last year a lot of those guys who decided to come back, pretty much maybe you knew beforehand, but it was announced publicly after the bowl game. Is there any scenario where you maybe see that coming out before the bowl game this year?
Each individual will handle it how they want. I'll be honest with you, I haven't sat down with the guys, like as far as declaring. I have a pretty good idea, but I need to sit down and have some conversations with some people. I haven't even had a chance to do that yet. So we'll manage that again day to day.
What have your guys been saying about just how much this game means to them? And they still take a lot of pride in going out and winning this bowl game, right?
Oh, there's no question. I mean, if you're a competitor, you're going out there to play to win. I just can judge it day one. Today was our first day of prep for the bowl game, and I was really impressed with their energy and their focus and the way we practiced. Obviously, I haven't watched one piece of film on Iowa. We've been busy. Today was just about fundamentally getting better, going against each other and just playing football, and they were excited to do that. They had a lot of fun out there.
Iowa's running back Charlie Goodson just announced that he's not going to play in the Citrus Bowl this afternoon. Do you expect that to happen for any of your guys? Or?
I have no idea. I mean, this is the first time my feet hit the ground. So, I don't know. I can't comment on anything. If I knew anything, I'd tell you.
You've always been a guy who's put players first. Mm-hmm. How do you balance talking to a kid who might be thinking about the transfer portal and what the team needs?
Well, just honesty. It's what are they interested in? I'm not going to run. I'm not going to kick anybody out of here. What do they want to do? Are they comfortable with coming back and being a role player, maybe being a scout team player, being, special teams, being a backup, or are they interested in going somewhere where they feel like they can get on the field and play at a lower level? That's an individual decision. So I'm always going to be very fair to them, but I'm going to be honest with them.
You've obviously been very busy with all this stuff going on, but I wonder, since the bowl has been announced, if you had a chance to kind of reconnect with some of your old Iowa teammates or maybe people involved in that and kind of talk about the minutes a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit, and I had a chance to see Coach Ferentz out at the College Football Hall of Fame, and he was out there, and so he and I had an opportunity to visit for a while, so that was good.
When you're looking at transfer targets, how do you stay patient in terms of there will be more guys entering probably after bowl games and after spring practice? You need certain positions. How do you weigh the best guy available now versus maybe you wait a while and see?
It's a good question. So do you have a perfect answer? Neither do I. No. Try the best we can. With that, there's definitely some guys that we know can improve us. and then there's some home runs, you know, and so you just kind of weigh that the best you can.
Mark, when you look at all the pros and cons, is it better this way, having this opportunity now with the portal open, or would you prefer it was still?
It is what it is, and so I better adapt. I better do it the best I can. Obviously, our roster improved from the transfer portal from last year, you know, and it helped us. So we got to continue to do that. We better, you better manage it and be as proactive as you can, or what you need to do. It's still extremely important to recruit high school players and develop them. And then this situation is what it is. So it doesn't matter the way I would vote. You know, I put no thought into that now. It just is what it is. So we'll handle it the best way we can.
Going back to what John was asking about, you know, some of those guys entering after and later in the spring stuff, is there a number in mind? You have the 85 scholarships, but you know, 82, you'd like to go in and have a few flexible into the summer, or you?
I mean, I'd like to have a little flexibility, but there's going to be some more transition post-spring for us too, and post-summer. There's going to be some attrition. That's just natural. So, you know, again, that's day to day. You know, who can we get? Who are we getting? You know what I mean? What's our high school numbers like? And that's just that's in constant motion.
How impactful is the NIL stuff with some guys who might be weighing decisions to come back? Or?
It's definitely impactful. It definitely has an effect on people's decision. You know, and so there's definitely there's a lot of discrepancy between certain schools on what the kids are getting and what they're not. And I've been pleased. I don't know what I'm allowed to comment on or not. I mean, our guys have done well. I continue to encourage and appreciate the people that have helped our players. I know when they're speaking with possible incoming transfers, they've had success. I'll let you talk to them individually.
If there's a player on the fence about playing in the bowl game or not, what do you kind of tell them of just how important the bowl game is to get the win for the program versus maybe them? It depends on the situation, but what do you tell them about the bowl game?
It's an individual decision, and you know, we'll talk to them. I would never put pressure on a young man to guilt him into coming back. You know, that's got to be a personal decision. That's their decision. I respect it either way. We've been fortunate. I think, you know, the precedent has been set here a long time ago. You know, when we had the National Defensive Player of the Year, and you know, and he decided to come back, that kind of set the tone. And I remember I told you guys at the time. I mean, Josh, we were going around, and this guy was going around to every award ceremony that was pre-COVID. We were traveling all over the country. He's busy. He's wore out. He's tired. Definitely a top 10 pick, and I told him, I said, Josh, you do not have to come back. Your legacy is set here forever. You know, you do not need to play in this game. And he said, no, I'm playing. It's important to finish, and that, I think, kind of set the precedent. But again, that's each individual's decision.
How important is this early bowl practice for developing those young guys who maybe didn't play as much?
I think it's really important. You're about to talk to Will and some other guys, but even today, with being off for almost 2 weeks, and some of the throws and the catches and the way we were practicing, and some young guys flashing, just kind of reinforced the importance of getting out there, because today was pushing it for us to get back out there. But it's what I've done, and we've had some success with the way we played and practiced, and so I wanted to kind of keep the routine the way it's been the past several years. So, but it was good. Once we get out there, it's always fun. The guys had fun, and it was good seeing we were actually much more sharp than I thought we would be for having this layoff.
Mark, you've worked hard lately at recruiting. You're dealing with questions about transfers and kids coming back. How much fun is it for you to get back on the field just to teach football? Is it almost like a relief?
Oh, that was fun, but I was still dealing with a bunch of administrative shit.
We can take care of that.
Yeah, talk right up forward. A little editing would help, folks. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Speaking of administrative shit, what's the status of the indoor stuff? I know there's been some talk this week about maybe something coming there soon.
I don't think I'm in a position to make any comment on that at this time. I know there's a lot of people working hard to make some things happen.
Have you signed your contract?
I have not. Told you this is the first time my feet hit the ground. I trust. We'll get it. It'll be done right.
Hey, Mark, for people who've been wondering about the indoor facility, can you kind of reiterate or clarify some of the things that you wanted to see happen with that and why it's
Well, the
important?
indoor, I
moving
mean, I
forward?
think just simply we need a 100-yard field. I mean, we need a field. When we go in there, you can tell where we're located geographically. We need an indoor because of the weather, and the one we have has a track around it. So I believe there's one or two Power Fives that don't have a full 100 yards. More one, so we just need the room. It gets condensed, it gets dangerous, when you need to practice. So I'm not asking for something that we don't need. I mean, I could go show you guys are in Kentucky, but I could show you a heck of a lot of states where there's a whole boatload of high schools that have indoors. You know what I mean? So,
Are there any other aspects besides that full 100 that can be
no,
incorporated?
I
that
just want to be safe. I want to have a field to practice on. Is that asking too much? I want to be safe. I want to have a practice field. I mean, there's. Go look at it. I mean, if you really look at it, I mean, you go to the red zone and things like that. It's you can't function on it.
Just kind of curious because that track takes up a lot of space. I was wondering if there's other things you can do even outside of the main
Well,
field.
because of that facility is what it is, then yes, we got to get creative with the way what we do. There are no decisions been made on all that, but if you remove the track, then there's an awful lot of field. Now we go from having, an indoor that's insufficient to one of the best ones in the country if we do it right.
Couple more?
Mark, after announcing the contract extension, with what happened with Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly, I think among the community, it was almost gratifying and kind of like a really big moment just to see that you are committed to this program. Have you noticed a difference in the psyche? I know you've been busy, but the psyche within the building too to make that decision.
I noticed the psyche because, yes, within the community and the support to me, that means a lot. And, I knew in my mind what I wanted to do the whole time, so I kind of brush it off as no big deal because that's where my mind was the entire time. But I also understand because I'm so close to some other programs that maybe lost some, just looking at Oklahoma being so close to that, and I just happened to be with everybody because they had a great ceremony for Bob on Monday and the Hall of Fame dinner on Tuesday, and I realized what that does to a community, to people. It affects people, and for me, I mean, it's. I said that to you all along. Like for me to leave, it's just not. It's not in our blood. I say our blood, in the Stoops blood, to run from a fight, to go to to think there's an easier road. Things are hard no matter where you're at. It's a daily fight. It's a grind, but loyalty is important.
Mark, with all the movement of coaches and players and NIL is an issue, and I know this is a real upbeat time for Kentucky football. I've been around it forever. But one of your peers has said it's a dark time in college football or something like that. I mean, can I assume that you disagree with him?
I don't know who you're talking about or what you're talking about. I've been busy running, but for me, it is what it is. I'm in a great place with the University of Kentucky and our program and where we're at. I'm very optimistic. I'm very encouraged The rules are what they are. I'm going to take advantage of them the best I can. And I feel like we have an opportunity to continue to make some moves up.
All right, folks, thank you very much.